Welcome to the Algebra Solver channel. We not only solve algebra problems but also calculus problems, statistics problems, and other general mathematical problems. For today, we're going to evaluate the expression 5ab plus xy, and we're going to evaluate them using the numbers given here as our variables and their corresponding values. In this case, a is 3, b is -5, x is 6, and y is 1/2. All you have to do is to plug in these numbers into the expression. Now remember, this is an expression, not an equation. And the 5ab, it means 5 multiplied by a. We don't use that anymore, we use dot. 5 multiplied by a multiplied by b. So these are products. And then when we say xy, it's understood to be x multiplied by y. So let's go and proceed. Let's evaluate this expression with these numbers. Let's do the substitution now. 5, and again, don't forget, we use the parentheses to avoid confusion. And when there's an open parenthesis there, and then you put the a, which is 3, and then the b, which is -5. Okay, -5 plus x, which is 6. Please put the parentheses so that you'll be confused, and y is 1/2. So we have identified, let's see, we have identified the problems here. A is 3, okay, b is -5, x is +6, put it in parentheses, and y is 1/2. So all we have to do right now is actually to evaluate these numbers, perform the order of operations on these integers, and we have solved many problems on how to evaluate these arithmetic expressions. Alright, so let's proceed. So 5 times 3, of course, 5 times 3, that's 15 times -5. Okay, so what happens there is that this is, if we simplify now, 5 times 3, okay, 5 times 3 times -5. So 5 and 3, that's 15 times -5. Okay, is that now when you have a positive number, you multiply it with a negative number, then what is the rule? The rule is if they have different signs, ds, different signs, then you multiply them. So in this case, we perform the multiplication, 75, and then the sign of the products will be negative. So if you have different signs, two different signs will be negative. Okay, let's try to go ahead and perform the operations here. Okay, so this is 15 times -5 plus 6 times 1/2 is obviously equivalent to 6/2, and that is 3. Okay, this one here. 6 times 1/2, that's actually the same as 6/2. So you can simplify this to 3. Okay, 3. Right, so let's erase that one so that our screen will be clear. So now this resulting product here on this side is 3. So this is we have to simplify this portion here. So that is actually 75 when you do that, and the sign, this is a positive 15, this is a negative 5. So when you have two products, when you have a product of two numbers, different signs, then the resulting product is actually negative. If they have different signs. If they have the same signs, the product is positive. Okay, the same signs. For example, negative times negative is positive. Positive times positive is positive. But if you have a negative times a positive, different signs. If you have positive times a negative, different signs. So in that case, your answer will be a negative 75. Okay, so let's try to simplify these things here. Okay, so this is negative 75 plus 3. Okay, negative 75 plus 3 would be, to simplify that, will be minus 72. Right? This is, okay, this is the sum of numbers with different signs. This is a negative 75 and that is a positive 3. So when you add two numbers of different signs, you take the difference, which is 72, and the sign of the difference will be the sign of the larger number. That's why we have negative here. It's negative 75, it's negative here, negative 72. Let's clear the screen. So minus 75 plus 3 is actually minus 72, and that is now the value of the expression. That's the value of the expression. So let's try to simplify this. Okay. So let's try to simplify it, and we'll execute now. This is 5 times a, which is 3, times b, which is negative 5, plus x, which is 6, multiplied by y, which is 1/2. And we have shown this to be equal to negative 72 in our previous screen. So therefore, to summarize, 5ab plus xy, plus xy is equal to negative 72 if and only if a equals 3 and b equals 5, negative 5, and x equals 6, and y equals 1/2. That means if and only if. This is the condition there. So the value of the expression, again, not equation, this is just an expression, 5ab plus xy, if and only if the variables of these numbers is equal to 72. And that's our final answer. It's clear the same. So 5ab plus xy equals 72 if the variables of the values that we identified earlier. So again, this is quite slow, this is quite belabored, but our target audience are those weak in mathematics. This is slow so that you can catch up. Now, if you're already if you're already advanced in math, you don't need these types of problems. But those who have problems solving their homework, you have teachers who cannot give enough assignments, and don't have time to discuss, teachers who don't have time to discuss a lot of problems, a lot of examples, and then you can point them to our channel. And also, again, for parents, don't forget in the algebra. Thank you, and see you in our next problem.